Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This is your boy Mr. Play Color, aka Benjamin. This is yet another exciting episode, and in this one I just want to show you guys how I edited these photos. Now this is a shoot I did a while ago with this wonderful model Lynnette. So we want to edit this photo from this to this. Without further ado, let's just get straight into the video. Now, as you can see, this is a well edited photo. I am not someone who does too much of the editing, but follow through and I'll show you exactly how I edited this photo. Now, of course, let's get rid of this folder here so we can start from scratch. In fact, I can just delete that folder. All right, so the first thing you want to do, guys, is always make a copy. So you can Ctrl J on PC or Command J to make a copy. After making a copy, the first thing I want to do in this case is to correct the light, or color grade in that case, color correction and lighting. So you come here, camera raw filter. So camera raw filter will open up, camera raw, okay, and then I like to zoom in just a little bit so I can see how I'm working with the colors. So first thing here is going to be white balance. I feel like there's a lot of red in the photo. If you're a Canon user, if you shoot with Canon, you know that it naturally will give you a bit of magenta in the photo. So you need to counter that magenta when you're editing. In that case, I'll pull down on the tint a bit, maybe up to where I see it's starting to take out that a bit. I think -12 is fine. And then maybe I can lift the temperature a little bit to, I think +4 is very okay for me. Now, these kind of edits are really subjective. It really depends on your style. A bit of warmth is really okay for me. So you can see already we have before and after. You can see the difference it has really made. Okay, right. Now I must be honest, this is a JPEG. This is not a completely raw photo. I shot JPEG, and I shot using the landscape mode, landscape picture style. Shot on 60 Mark II. 85mm. As you can see, the settings: ISO 100, 85mm f2.5, and shutter speed 800ths of a second. Okay, there's a few flash in this photo, not too strong, but just enough to fill in the shadows. You will check the other video to see how exactly I did that. Right, but let's continue. So the other thing I want to do, guys, is I want to go in a little bit more into the reds. So I'm going to come to the color mixer here, and then on the hue bit, I will dial in a bit more to the oranges. I want to change the red hue to go a little bit into the orange. Now here, what I'm doing is color grading. I know that she's putting on red. I don't want to exaggerate this red to turn into orange, but I'm just pulling it a little bit because I want that skin tone to get into the golden, you know, the golden look. All right, so I pull the reds a little bit into the, and I can also desaturate, I can pull the oranges just slightly into the yellow. You see that? But very slightly, maybe only three should be okay. I don't want it to be too much because then it will look unrealistic. Just I think +3 is very okay. Then I'll come to the saturation. I think I can desaturate this orange just a tiny bit, so it's not too much. This is all the way. Guys, feel free to play with these sliders so you can know, so you can see how it looks for you, maybe, you know, and circumstances or situations vary. Sometimes you will, the picture will be more orange or be more red, depending on the environment you're shooting with and the skin tone of your model, or even what they're putting on. So just keep that in mind. Okay, I think this grading is not too bad. You can see the before and after. All right. Okay, so let's see. I want to whiten these teeth and eyes a bit. So I'm going to press K on the keyboard. It's a shortcut for the brush. Okay, adjustment brush. Now, there's already a preset here. I named it Teeth White, but basically what this preset is going to do is, if you look deep into the preset, let me show you. The temperature here is -7. Okay. Actually, that's the only thing I did, the temperature and then the saturation. That's all. So when I brush the eyes here, you can see it's cleaning them up, you know, make them brighter. Okay. If you want, you can show the overlay just to see where the effect is happening. You need to be careful. You don't want to brush the gums and then the lips. Yeah, you need to be very careful with that. Yeah, and then you can just press Alt to erase in case there's you've entered a wrong section. Yeah, but let me just take off the overlay. So yeah, the eyes, that is so far what we have, but I think I'm going to increase the effect of this a little bit more. So I'll increase the amount because I want, I think, to have it a little more sparkling. Yeah, so I think around 140% is enough for me. Okay, so yeah, let's so you can see the photo is already taking shape. I haven't done any skin retouching yet. We are still just adjusting the light. Okay, so I'm gonna come back to the basic tab here. I think I'm okay with the exposure. I just want to take down the highlights a little bit. Now, this is a JPEG. There's not too much flexibility. So it means when you're editing, you're going to do so much more with the photo. Well, maybe, let me not confuse you. What I mean is, it would be a lot easier to work with a raw photo. But since this is a JPEG, it means if I'm to achieve a certain look, I have to use probably more layers. I have to do so many tricks to get the picture to look the best way possible. but if it was raw, it would be so much easier. Like you would see major differences if I just pull down on the highlights. But you see here, there's not too much being done because already these colors and have been baked into this photo. But regardless, let's reduce these highlights a bit. Let's bring down the blacks a bit so we can have some contrast in the photo, and maybe lift the shadows slightly. Yeah, you guys can see the photo is beginning to look better and better. Okay, texture, clarity, not really. Let me just give it a little bit of texture, just 8. I think I'm happy with this, guys. And then I'll go ahead and say okay. So you can see already, guys, yeah, before and after. Before and after. Look at that, guys. I feel like if I do the skin retouching, we are done with the photo. There's not too much more to do with it, as you can see. Yeah, so the next step I want to do is do the skin retouching, clean the blemishes. So yeah, let me just make another copy here. Ctrl J. Right. Okay, so I'm gonna use the, I have to convert this to a normal layer, not a smart object. Yeah, great. So I'm going to use the clone stamp. I think it will do the job better. You can just press the shortcut S, or you can just come here on the tool side and just pick the clone stamp. Okay, so the clone stamp, you just press Alt or Option on a Mac. Alt, click where you want to copy and just paste where you want to make that change. Okay, so ideally you copy the good side, and then yeah, I think I'm gonna make this quick so you guys don't have to wait too long. Okay guys, so we are done with the removing of the blemishes. Our model generally has a good skin, so honestly there's not too much to do. Yeah, okay, so we go on to the next bit, which is the frequency separation. Now there's so many videos on frequency separation for those of you who do not know how it works, but I use a shortcut from Ronix Photography. He's a Ugandan photographer. Yeah, he's done so many videos on frequency separation. You can check out his channel. Yeah, now I have his action here of frequency separation. It saves you, actions basically save you the time of having to, open layers, and then, so I just have to play this action right here, and then it will begin that process for me. So for the radius here, this radius can be changed to something that can work for you, but I think for me, I'll go with something like 7. Should be okay, because the idea is for you to set it to a point where you start to lose out on the texture in the photo. I think for me 7 is really okay. You can see 3, and then I think I think I'm happy with 7, so we'll just press OK. Okay, and then I say continue. Right, so it's going to create this folder here called frequency separation, and then you open the group, the folder, come to the low frequency layer, and we are going to now get the mixer brush tool. The mixer brush tool is found just here on the toolbox or tool panel. Mixer brush. So now you need to note, maybe here I can explain to you guys a little bit. So when you tap the mixer brush, you need to always ensure it's a clean brush. So click on clean brush here, and make sure this is checked. Clean the brush after each stroke is checked. Okay. Also make sure sample all layers is not checked. For the mixer brush settings, I use these. I find them to be okay, though these are not cast in stone. You can always tweak them to see what will work for you, but this is okay. 9%, 75, 90, and 100 on flow. All right, so we are ready to blend. Okay, by the way, there's 2 methods. You can either use the mixer brush tool or you can use the lasso tool. They all work pretty much the same, but the mixer brush tool is easier and quicker because you can just brush along. Okay, so let me turn off the texture layer just for you to, well, the idea is for you to blend these skin tones without you being confused with the textures. So I'll just blend this. Don't zoom in too close when you're doing this kind of thing. Just leave a reasonable scale your photo to a reasonable size so you can see. But so make sure you blend these tones very well. I blend from the shadows, the mid-tones, the highlights. So ideally what you're doing is blending those particular regions, like the shadows. Blend the shadows really well, and then you blend the highlights as well, and the mid-tones. Yeah, don't have very long strokes that just blend everything together. That will make your photo too flat and not realistic. So when you see other photographers having those kind of very flat photos and, you know, overly done skins, it doesn't look so good. In my opinion, photos look best at their most natural state. Yeah, so when you're doing this kind of blending, you blend, but you know, leave a realistic element as well. Yeah, let me make this quicker so you guys don't have to watch the entire thing. Okay guys, I think we are done with blending the skin tones pretty much. Maybe just this area. Let me just blend this a little bit. Okay, I feel like we are good. So let's just take a quick before and after. You see now, if the model has good skin and the makeup is done really well, there's not too much going on. You're just really making subtle changes, but you can see the before and after. In fact, the changes are not so drastic, but just something subtle in there. Yeah, again, I need to mention to you guys that I am not too much of like an editor, or I really keep my edits simple. Yeah, I think that's why some people prefer to work with me, because I try to keep my edits a lot realistic and as easy as possible. Right, yeah, I think we are through with the brushing, and you can see that our photo is pretty much you know, getting there. So now the next thing I want to do, because I feel we have done the skin tones pretty well. Okay, so the next thing I want to do, guys, is I'm going to make a copy. All right, I'm going to make a copy. I'll make this a visible copy. So I press Ctrl Alt Shift and E. Okay, I'll make another copy. And what I'm going to do now with this, because I just want to work on the lighting just a little bit. Okay, so I will select the subject here. Oh, and this is Photoshop 2022, I think. It comes with these amazing features where you don't have to do the manual style of selection. You can just tap on select subject. And in this case, what I want to do is I want to brighten. I'm going to brighten the model just a little bit. Okay, so I'll tap an adjustment layer. Ooh, sorry. Let's just use brightness. Okay. So we lift the brightness a bit. As you can see, it's only affecting the selection. Yeah. So I just want to lift this brightness just a bit, so our model can, you know, have that kind of punch. But also I'm going to, after lifting this brightness a bit, what I'm going to do is make some adjustments. So make sure this layer mask is selected here, and then you can use a brush, not the mixer brush, but the brush tool. What I want to do is just erase the bits which I don't want really brightened. Okay, so I'll press X. X will change these, or you can just tap this arrow from black and white. Remember, black hides and white reveals. So in this case, I want to hide, and then I'll brush like this, because I'm seeing areas which are really overexposed. I just want to create some kind of you know, depth into the photo, so I can you know, just brush onto those areas which I want to darken a little, so the photo can have, you know, some kind of pop to it. Right, this is more like you would do dodge and burn, but for me, mine is even a lot more simplified. So that's what I like to do. And then the other thing is, guys, I want to, so let's see the before and after. You see that? You can see that, right? But the other thing I want to do is I want to reduce the brightness in the background. So I just want to select only the background. Let me try and let's see. Oh, I've already tampered with that. Let me just create another. So I'm gonna do select subject again. You can see the subject is selected, but then in this case, I'm going to invert it because I want to now just work on the background. So I can click Ctrl Shift I, right, to invert that selection. In other situations, you'll already be seeing a quick action that tells you to invert. I think that's after you've put a layer mask. But yeah, so I'm inverting this, and I'm still going to get an adjustment layer, brightness, contrast, or I could use curves. It doesn't matter. And then I can bring down, you see that? I'm bringing down this brightness to this point. Okay. I think that's good. You can see the before and after. Yeah, I think we've done a good job on that, before and after. So even if I switch this up, you see, before, this is before. You can see the background is too bright. This is not so flattering, guys. So that's why we now reduce the brightness in the back and lift the brightness onto a model, so the model can really pop. Yeah, it really it's looking good to me. Now, of course, there's a bright patch here, but we are not going to do too much. Again, we don't want to make the photo look too overdone. Okay, so I feel like I am really happy with this, and perhaps one more thing I would like to do is one more thing I think I'm gonna do is sharpen this photo just a little bit. So we are again going to create another. We could choose to. Okay, let me just group these, put them in a group and see. Lovely. Now, what I'm going to do is sharpen this. Okay, I'm going to sharpen the photo a little bit. So you just come to filter, other, and then you click high pass. Okay, high pass. Oh, it's looking different. Let me first cancel that. Okay, let me just make another visible layer, a copy. Okay, so it is Ctrl Alt Shift E. It will make another copy. All right, and then we come to filter, other, custom, high pass. So you choose high pass. Right, there we go. And guys, as you can see, ideally it's going to just really work with the textures, as you can see, because the textures is basically what you want to sharpen, not anything else but the textures. So I think 1 pixel is enough. You can play with it and see, but I feel like one is just enough. There's no need to overdo this. So 1, and you're going to change the blending mode here. So we can change the blending mode to vivid light. There's linear light. Okay, I think vivid light is good, right? Let's zoom in a little and see what this looks like. Oops, sorry. Okay, so let's take a close look before and after. Do you see that? This is looking lovely. You can see that in the eyes, you know, there's that sharpening. Yeah. Now, you can always reduce the opacity if you feel it's a lot, but I think that looks fine to me. I'm not going to do any more, but there are situations where you might want to apply sharpening only in just a few areas. So there you can just create a mask. Okay, you can invert it already by pressing Alt. Okay, and then it's already black, and then you can use a brush to paint in those areas. For example, I can just use my brush and then reveal, and then I can paint the areas which I feel need sharpening. I think I'll sharpen the whole face. I don't really mind because it's not too strong. Okay, and then sharpen. I can choose to sharpen the whole body. Maybe leave out the background. I don't need to sharpen the background. So yeah, that's how it works. And I think we are good. I don't know if I'm missing out anything on this photo. I feel like we have done pretty much everything. The photo looks really good to me. Maybe let's take a look at the before and after. Let me, yeah, you can see all the way from here. Yeah, this is where we've come from, and then we color graded, removed blemishes, made the skin fine, and finally, this is a dramatic kind of, you know, yeah, but you can see the difference now where the photo has ended. Beautiful, isn't it? And then you can export your photo. I like to, there's many ways to export. You could just maybe say file and say export as, go into those settings, but also you can just save as, and then JPEG. There's many ways to save these pictures. Let me just call it model. Okay, click save. Save the biggest size and say okay, and that's it, guys. You're done. So I just want to thank you guys for watching. You could use this for your style of photos, but maybe just to encourage you guys, always shoot your photos as raw. Yeah, when you're setting your camera. I think I'll do a video on camera settings specifically, but for now, thank you so much for watching. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section. If you're new to the channel, kindly subscribe, and yeah, I'll be encouraged to send you guys more of these videos. Yeah, thanks again for watching, and bye.